What's good, pack members out there? How's everybody doing on their end? So I'm here to answer your questions that I have asked you guys. I told you guys, as always, we do one live and then another Q&A at the end of the month. It is technically now the end of the month. It is April 30th. Hope everybody is well and staying safe and staying positive as always. So I'm here to answer your questions. I see there's a few questions here. This may not be a long video, and that's fine. It is what it is. But I got your questions right here on the phone. We're going to do this. Like I said, I posted this 2 days ago, and we got about 14 questions to answer. I answered one of them already because it was kind of needed. So in that case, let's get right into it. Okay, so I changed the lineup of the questions. I went newest first. What's the newest question first? So let's hit the newest question first. And that first question, like I said before, I answered one question that came from Chris Thompson, and he asked me, can I do a reaction to Do College Kids Know 80s Music number 12? Please. And I told him I already watched that. I don't watch videos that I don't react to videos that I've already watched. It basically means I'm faking my reactions. And I did do a reaction to that. Unfortunately, YouTube took it down, blocked it. So I was like, okay, I can't. So yeah, unfortunately I can't. I also told you, sir, if you want to see any new FBE react videos, go to my all reaction channel, which is TheMtVernonKid 2. Next up is Alley Cat. Who is your favorite superhero? I get this question a lot, and the question is very simple, very easy. Come here, bro. I need you for a second. Say what's good, Spidey. There you go. This is my number one favorite hero of all, Spider-Man. There you go. Thanks, Spidey. Alright, next up, AJ Daniels asks me, favorite superhero movie of all time? That's definitely going to be Winter Soldier. Love that. That's one of them. Favorite Michael Jackson album? My all-time favorite has got to be Bad. I love Dangerous. I love all his others, Written on the Wall, Walking on the Wall, all that, those. But Bad definitely is my favorite. That's my favorite. Favorite so bad it's good movie. It's a good movie. I don't know if I have anything like that. I do have some movies that are kind of cheesy, and I do have some cheese movies, but I like it and I find it good. And some people do like for example, Idle Hands. I love that movie. Idle Hands is as goofy as it is. It's a funny and good movie. It's the movie where Devin saw and his hand got possessed by the devil. He chopped it off, and it was going around killing people. That's where you actually got to see a young Jessica Alba and see how the thickness she had on her back then, and then she kind of lost it. So I like them thick. Seth Green was in it. It was good stuff. It was funny. I love that movie. Vivica Fox. She was a Judas Priest. It was funny. It was a good movie. Thoughts on the Last Man Standing match between Edge and Randy Orton? I didn't mind it, but I think I agree with everybody who's reviewed it. I think it went on way too long. They could have shortened that a lot. And in my opinion, there were some things about it Edge should have been doing that he should have did that wasn't. For example, like every time he got Randy down and the ref started counting, he should have kept stopping that. Like, no, don't fucking count him. Don't fucking count him out. Like, he should have just whooped Orton's ass. Like, not had the ref constantly stop and counter. But I will agree it did go on a little too long in some cases. Okay, so thank you, AJ, for the questions. Moving on to Tony Montana. And his question: despite the flaws and the Mandarin reveal, Iron Man 3 was a very important was very important for Tony's character development in making him realize he doesn't need the suit to be Iron Man and embrace his status as a hero. Do you agree? Yeah, I mean, some of it could. I mean, there were cases where I saw that in 2, more than just 3, but I can somewhat agree with it. Yeah. What are the pros and cons of Henry Cavill's portrayal of Superman? According to me, it was a little too dark, a little too grim at times. It was almost as if he couldn't find any kind of light at the end of his tunnel as Superman. And then when he finally did starting to feel more like Superman, they kind of pulled the rug underneath him, and that's it. Pros about it, I thought he was great. I don't mind Henry Cavill as Superman. He had that Superman look, and you're talking from a guy who grew up with Christopher Reeves, rest in peace, as Superman. So I've seen Christopher Reeves, and I'm forgetting his name right now. The actor from who was Superman and Lois and Clark. I'm forgetting his name right now off the top of my head. I can't believe it. Tom Welling, all these, but movie-wise, and even I thought he was a good. So the pros would be he had the look. He just had bad material, in my opinion, as Superman, and that was just me, People complain about the portrayal of Venom in Spider-Man 3, but nobody complained about the Vulture in Homecoming. What was so different from the comic? While Venom, despite the miscasting, followed more or less the storyline of the symbiote. And what do you think? The reason why Venom is so panned in that movie, because first of all, Venom was not going to be in that movie. That was never supposed to be. But that's the studio's fault. That's Sony's fault for pushing Raimi to use Venom. In terms of the Vulture, let's be honest. There was no way they were gonna have Spider-Man face a geriatric-looking Adrian Toomes. Okay, there's no way. That's the one thing about the Vulture that kills me, is how this guy is able to still be around, and he's older than fuck. Excuse me, don't mean that, but yeah, he is. He's older than fuck. So yeah, you had to de-age him, and it's Michael Keaton. So, I mean, please, like, it's Michael Keaton compared to Topher Grace. I'm going with Michael Keaton all the way, and he was one of the best MCU villains at that time. Moving on. So, and it still played up to. They changed a little bit of this Adrian Toomes makeover. Like, yeah, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. So they had to make it feel more like, still kind of stay in tune to Spider-Man. And of course, as we all know, the MCU kind of grounds a lot of their characters a little bit in realism. So to have him look more like an a flight fighter, yeah, it made sense. I was like, okay, I can see, but you could still see the vultureness in him. With Venom, like I said before, that's the studio's fault. That was the studio's fault, and they just shoehorned that in there. And even the point of the symbiote. Look how it just fell out of the sky. It just fell out of the sky. There's no real alien base to its origin, and in some ways, it made no sense for the symbiote to, in some way, but it made sense because, yeah, Spider-Man kind of spurned it, and it was like, I don't want you no more. So and that's kind of what possessed the symbiote to merge with Venom with Brock. However, there was really no clear-cut indication of Brock hating Peter, unless they count that one time when he had Brock up against the wall. I'm like, that still doesn't waver. Okay, like, I hate Peter, but no, it's no contest between them. don't you think it's a bit hypocritical when people ask for better female characters in the MCU, but at the same time they objectify Aunt May because she looks hot? Ooh, that's a good question. I never got that question. I never had people who asked me better heroines in the MCU. I have found it. To me, I find it not objective, but I always felt that was the perfect time. That was the perfect point to add like that joke. Like everybody talks about Peter, blah, blah, but then they see he's the guy with the hot aunt. There was a joke right there. If you watch classic 80s teen movies, they always have it where, or even the early 90s, one of their friends or so has a hot mom. Stifler's mom was a good example of that. They could have played on that a little bit, but never to a point where Aunt May would do something with one of these kids, but just like, oh wow. But they kind of went that route with her and Happy. Like Happy did kind of get with her for a while, and she kind of was like, it was like a fling, but nothing ever happened. I do hear people talk about, someone say they need better heroines, but it's like, or the biggest question, I always seem to get is people talk about, the heroines did nothing in Endgame, and I'm looking at them like, what the fuck were you not watching? Like, one of those heroines nearly killed Thanos by herself. And it's like, so what they did, there's a whole scene of them taking out a whole wave by themselves. So it's almost to the point, I don't like when you're, at the time, especially with Marvel, and at that point, Wonder Woman already came out, so it's almost like they're comparing Wonder Woman to another heroine. And you gotta also remember that a lot of these characters are so different, and I understand also a lot of people's concerns with, Carol being the so-called strongest, and that's a lot of PC to some people, but it is what it is. It happened. As of right now, she is. It's kind of arguably, is she the strongest? Because like we seen Wanda do some stuff. It's like, whoa, okay. So it is what it is, But with Aunt May, you got the lovely and talented Marissa Tomei. It was like, okay, like I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I was Peter, if I was a friend of Peter or just an acquaintance, I saw his aunt and she looks like Marissa Tomei, I'm like, whoa, like that's your aunt, like, and but the biggest still question is, will they ever incorporate Uncle Ben? And to me, I don't care what Marvel says, oh, we don't need him. Yes, you do. You still need Uncle Ben because he is the key point of why Peter became Spider-Man in the first place. I don't care if you just show a cameo of him, like it's a flashback. Show the man, like, yeah, he's there. He is there. So yeah, but thank you, Tony, for the questions. Charles Gorman, do you think Derek Carr is a bust? Hell no. Solid quarterback. He is exactly what my team needs. And I was scared when I was hearing them trying to go after Brady, and I'm like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, because all that's gonna do is, Carr's gonna go back to being the second string, which he doesn't need to be, and he shouldn't be. He has had a solid game for a while now, and it takes away from his accomplishments as a quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. Yes, people, I will not call them Vegas. I won't call them that. I refuse to call them by that name. I'm not. What are your thoughts on Mike Mayock so far as a GM for the Raiders? I don't really follow, GMs like that. But I do know him. He's the GM of my team. So that's the case where you're gonna have to follow him sometime. As of right now, I can't really say anything bad. The team had a not so good season last year, but still, to me, that doesn't warrant fire him, or get rid of him, things like that. You got people like that, but get rid of him. You're like, oh, but no, I'm not. But I don't follow him like heavily like that. Aside from Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson, what were some of your those were my favorite. Those were some of my favorite. But if you go on other favorite, Tim Brown, Rich Gannon, Charles Woodson, Bernard. Well, that's before my time, but I knew about Bernard King. 70s. Did I say Rich Gannon? I said Rich Gannon. Damn it. Janikowski, the kicker. So yeah. What? I'm not. I meant not Bernard King, but there's I forgot his name. Shit. No, I'm talking about King from the Raiders. Hold on. Make sure. Mark, there we go. Thank you. And there's Kenny King. That's the other King that I'm talking about. But thank you for those questions. Travis Tipton would like Netflix series of Legacy. Are you trying to say you would I like a Netflix series of Legacy of Kain? Yeah, Travis, you gotta. I don't like to be a grammar or something like that, but yeah, your wording is really weird. Okay, would I like a Netflix series of a Legacy of Kain? Only if it's done with respect to the character. I'm not gonna just like something because it's and sure we haven't seen a Legacy of Kain game in years. So yeah, that's a game. That's a franchise that I feel could be rebooted or refranchised or so. Definitely. Wait. I knew I was missing. Wait, hold on. Okay. Did I answer all that question? I think I did. I'm getting mixed my questions again. Okay. Yeah, I did. Okay, let me finish doing yours, Travis, because I mixed up everything. Okay, did you play Max Payne 3? I have Max Payne 3. I have not touched it. I have not touched it since I downloaded that game, which I need to. Boss battle that was just too easy. A boss battle that was just too easy. It's depend if you ever played Spawn for the Dreamcast. I'd pull it out if I had. It's backwards. I'm looking right at it. What is it? Yeah, Mel Bozier. He was like the final boss in that game. He was just really easy. It was just one time. That's it. That was it. That's it. There's a couple others, but I never felt like he was extremely like even to degree Saren in the first Mass Effect. I never felt that he was hard. I heard people like they had a hard time. I'm like, not so hard. Like, pretty easy to me. The thing is, all you do is just if you got the higher guns, then yeah. If you're going in there, not leveling up your characters and stuff like that, it's gonna be harder. Yeah. But definitely Mel Bozier from the Dreamcast Spawn game. That was Capcom. Yeah, right, Capcom. Did you watch the movie Extraction? Not yet. I have not watched it. I'm definitely gonna check that out because I really want to see that movie. That's on Netflix with Thor, Mr. Hemsworth. All right, now let me go back. I missed some questions. All right, next, Marion McDaniels. Why do you think vampires are more popular than werewolves? I ain't never hear that. Mainstream wise.
So you see more vampires than werewolves, and if werewolves are in it, they're played second to the main source of being vampires. And that person does got seem like mainstream was the popular thing. Remember, we had that whole phase. Every movie was a vampire.
I mean, movie wise, yeah, they. It's mostly for that Twilight nonsense, cause they, and Blade was fine, but it made what vampires kind of truly are, and Underworld, which put the werewolves and vampires against each other, which is there's always did that, like there's a feud. I don't know, it's just people look at them like, oh, they're cool, but to me it's like I ain't gonna be living a life, killing people for my sustenance, where I can live off of something. That's always the question for me. I've always had that question. Why human blood? Why human blood? Why do they need to? Their sustenance needs to come from human blood. Why can't they live off of like cow's blood or something? I mean, we've seen Angel do it. Like he drank pig's blood all the time, and it didn't do anything for him. Like, so yeah, it's just like they just need blood. Like, does it have to be human blood? And so I don't know. It's just weird. Just weird. Anyway, let's move on. Which wrestler in WWE does the most painful chokeslam sin? What's chokeslam sin? What chokeslam sin? In your opinion. Okay. You put an S to sin. Who does the most painful chokeslam? You talking about currently? Right now? There ain't a lot that do chokeslam. I don't know. I mean, there used to be. I remember when Show used to he used to hold it up there. Show. I remember Big Show. Yeah, he used to hold it, stall it for a while. Like he's choking you, then he just drops you, and I'm like, oh. It's already he's big as it is, so that's adding more height to your waiting for you to just hit that mat. Taker used to do it too, stall it for a while. I remember it's cheesy. But as of right now, nobody really does a really most painful looking choke slam to me, especially in that company as it is. Not really, but if I'm gonna say somebody right now, I'll just say Big Show. He used to stall it. I actually liked that when he stalled it. Alright, whatever. Which moment in a Godzilla movie made you tear up or cry? I probably wouldn't say no, it made me tear up, but when he died, when he self-destructed after fighting Destroyer, I remember that. I was just like, oh, and you just saw him going in a meltdown, and I was like, oh, and you just heard his roar for the last time. I was like, oh, that's deep. Even in King of Monsters when he went down, and then Ken Wanabe's character woke him back up, brought him back, and I thought that was really touching because it was almost like Ken Wanabe's character, really cared. He was like, yeah, and he sacrificed himself to bring Godzilla back. And when he came back, it was just like, oh, it was cool. What soundtrack from a video game could you listen to over and over and over again? For me, it's The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Red Dead Redemption 2. Well, Streets of Rage definitely is up there. And speaking of which, I will be streaming 4 tonight. So come through. I will be streaming that. Mass Effect has some good music that I've enjoyed. What's that? Yeah, Jet Set Radio. Yeah, but a lot of those are definitely. You just talking original score or just in general? Because Jet Set Radio had good music. The Division has some really good music. From both 1 and 2. Tekken, a lot of Tekken music. I love those music. I love Street Fighter, Third Strike definitely. I mean, there's a lot of games that I can listen to over and over. It's not just. Yeah, it's still music. So, those composers put a lot of time in. Even Final Fantasy, there's a lot of music from Final Fantasy I love listening to. A little bit. That first, I like it, but after a while, it does get a little. Earthworm Jim now has good music. Jonathan Alvarez Lopez. Wow, got 2 names. Okay. Hyphen, so that's cool. How many Marvel movies have you watched? All of them. All of them. I support them all. It's like, I mean, even those crappy earliest, Marvel movies, I've seen them all. I've seen that. Even David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury. I've seen them. I've seen the bottom all the way to the top. And that's not just Marvel, DC as well. So yeah, I've seen them all. How many channels do you have? There's the main channel right here. Yeah, right. I don't know, 74. Don't listen. The main channel. Then there's my all reaction channel, which is TheMtVernonKid 2. I have a channel called Geek Ramble, and that's kind of like my backup channel. That's like where I put a lot of stuff. Then there's my gaming channel, TheMtVernonKid Gaming X. I don't know why I put the X there. I think that was just because I was looking at Mega Man and I was like, okay, X. And then I had a collab channel with a lot of friends, but a lot of my friends don't do YouTube anymore. It was called the YouTubers Core. I still have that channel up. I just keep it up for videos, and just for reminiscing. And I'm about to start back up my fighting channel, which is me putting different heroes and villains against each other. It's like a debate channel. So I'm about to start that again. I'm about to put that up, start that back up. And I said I'm gonna always do those like in the summertime. So summer's coming, or I guess. So sometime around June, I'll start getting back into the fights. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's about like that. In term active wise, there's 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, 4 active. What are you going to do in free time? You mean what do I do in my free time? When I'm not making projects or doing stuff like that, I'm reading, I'm playing games. Most of the time, also watch a lot of Dashi for sure. Like, a Dashi day is always a good day for me. Like, I have a whole playlist of like videos. I will always watch that, or I watch the Try channel, which is Irish people try different things, and I love that channel. And the kids, yeah, there's a Hi Ho Kids. Good, yeah, it's just good stuff. You know, I'm a movie watcher, so you know I love watching movies, and you know that's the thing. It's like, for me, guys, in the time that we are now, I can never really say I'm bored. You know, really, like, you know, because there are times I do work. I still work, guys. I'm not, I don't know about everybody else, but I still work. And I'm gracious enough that the company I work for still is providing me with work, instead of me staying at home without any kind of income coming in, you know, or you know, because I'm technically, look, I'm a security guard. That's me. That's what I am, and I have to be out in the field, and I'm out there, and yeah, I do have my mask on, and gloves on. Like I said before, when I'm out there with my mask on, I'm thinking I'm Scorpion. Like, and I mean, I've actually scared somebody, going, "Get over here!" one time. That's another time for another story. But no, you know, it is what it is. But I've never. But you know, then you got those quote unquote essential workers, like your doctors and people like that, and yeah, big ups to all of them. You know, like I said, you know. But yeah, I'm never really bored, really. I do wish I could do more, like go places, but it's not safe, you know, right now to be like for example. Yeah, like for example, people have asked me. I've heard I forgot who asked me, have I gone into the city of New York? Because I live in New York. I've said no, I haven't been in the city since like April or February, like. Yeah, since I had we had a mini family reunion, I haven't been back in the city since. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. That's it. Yep. Let's see. Next, I know there was something else. Next, I know I'm missing. Yeah, I am missing a few. Oh, here we go. How long have you been on YouTube? About 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years. Yeah, 2007 I made this account, this channel. I didn't start putting things up until maybe late 2008. That's when I started making my superhero tributes, and unfortunately, I stopped those because people all ask me like, "Why'd you stop your tributes?" And I said it before. YouTube kind of took the fun out of it. Like every time I had a perfect song for this character, it gets blocked or it gets muted. I do have another channel, but it's not on here. It's actually on Valere. So I do put stuff up there, but that's kind of good also. And that's going to be like some more exclusive stuff for there as well. Instead of putting like the same thing I put here on Valere, I got to do that. So yeah. But yeah, I've been like 10, 11 years with over, made some achievements, over 10,000 pack members. I've got and still counting. Like I'm looking at it now, and it's still going up. It's past. I'm now at 10,200. So it's moving up. And hopefully, I've already said like I would love to reach 20,000. Like, I've always felt like, would it be cool to get one of those plaques that, say, hey, you did it from YouTube? Yeah, I would love one of those, and I'd mount it on my wall. Like, yeah, I did it. Like, I see some of my other favorite YouTubers have it, and I'm just like, and that motivates me kind of like, I want to have that. Like, in a sense. So I'm always trying to bring new things or add new things to the channel, especially this channel because this is my main channel, and my main channel has had, had this and has that. I've always told people, like, when I have people like make things for me, because I've had people make things for my channel, like like boards, and some have animated me and like for profile pictures and stuff like that. And a lot of people ask, like, what is your channel really? And I always say it's a variety channel. It has a little of everything for anybody. I do plan to get back maybe into more TV and cartoon reviews. I kind of stopped that because there's some good cartoons now that I've been enjoying that I would love to talk about. For example, the Owl House. Good shit. Like, I seen it. I seen commercials of it. Excuse me. And then I watched it. Then Disney Plus, not Disney Plus, Disney XD was showing a little mini marathon, and I was watching. And I was like, this is a really good show. It's good shit. And so I posted it on my Facebook, and I heard other people came like, yeah, it's really good. I like this. And I was like, okay. So yeah. But yeah, stuff like that. Moving on. Napster. Wait, Napster Nepal. Am I saying it right? What was your favorite Marvel Netflix series show? If I'm ranking them in order, Daredevil was first. Daredevil was great from start to finish. Daredevil first. Luke Cage was next, because once again with Luke Cage, this is the first time we actually saw Luke Cage live, and they really pulled everything they can, not just from pop culture, but just the realm of who Luke Cage is. And I'm glad they kind of went with the more of the Brian Michael Bendis' version, where he's articulate. You see him reading books. Like, he's not like just the angry black man that he kind of was in this when he first came out in the 70s. He was kind of like the angry black man, And Mike Coulter just nailed that character. And I'm gonna call, like I said, like all those franchises that were Netflix, they all are coming back to the MCU. Their license with Netflix is ending. Most of them ending this year or next year, and I think his comes in 2021 next year. So I know Kevin Feige has spoken to many of the actors who played those, and if I'm believing Kevin Feige, I believe he will keep many of those actors as their roles, because as far as in terms of Luke Cage, I can't see nobody else playing Luke Cage but Mike Coulter. I know he has that show on CBS called what's it called? I forget what it is, but it kind of deals with like demons. It's supernatural based, but I haven't watched it yet, but I heard good things about it. John Burnoff as Punisher. Oh my God, he was great. I loved him as Frank. It was great. If I'm to say the least one that I did not like, it's got to be Iron Fist. And you got to understand, I'm a huge Iron Fist fan. That's one of my top 10 favorite Marvel characters. And to see that they really, especially that first season just angered me. Just alone, not just from the story, but it was from it was also the fight choreography. I was so angry at that. I'm like, it was terrible. Season 2 picked it up, but it was a little too late. But yes, some of those characters, I would love to see Alice Eve, who played Typhoid Mary in that, come back and go full Typhoid Mary. Like, we get to see the Mary personality, the real psychotic one. We only got a tease of it. Who's in it? Simone Messick, who played Misty Knight. She says I miss playing Misty. I would love to see her come back as Misty with a better arm. We saw the arm, but I want a real better functioning, like something like Bucky. His metal arm, yeah, that's how Misty's arm should be like. But yeah, I want to see them all come back. But like I said, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Punisher, Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones was good too. Then Iron Fist. You know, other than that, like you could recast Finn Jones. Keep Kristen Hedwig, I think that's her name, who played Colleen, but recast Finn Jones. I just wasn't feeling him as Danny. Yeah, I guess, yeah, kind of.
Immediately, I was like, all right, I got you as Ollie.
It's just, to me, it's just like, if you're gonna hire a character that his one of his biggest forte is martial arts, hire a martial artist that can act. And I keep saying it before. They should have hired Christian Howard, and I'm glad to know that he's actually doing an Iron Fist project, but he's not playing Daniel Rand. He's playing Orson Randall. So.
But then you got situations like John Wick where Keanu Reeves not no full-time martial artist, but he can do it. So it just shows that you can get it like anybody. I just think Jones was the wrong guy. I gave him a chance.
I just said, it is what it is.
That's not on him, that fighter. That's on whoever.
Yeah, that's on the fight choreographer in general. Like,
people said in the first season they like all of Colleen's fights.
Yeah.
But something about Danny, I was like, yo, this feels weird.
So yeah, it is what it is. So moving on, try not to take too much time, but it is what it is. See, and I dropped out of the page again. I keep hitting the button on my phone that goes back off. All right, I know you had another question. No, you only had one. Okay. Well, thank you for that question. Nightwing X 36. Nice name. Who is your favorite DC hero? Favorite DC? I have a lot. But I will say I like Batman, of course, but I still do for him as Bruce. That's never changed. Batman is actually, he's low now. Like I've kind of lowered him. I've lowered him over the years. He's got lowered on my list because I've found out, even more importantly, I like Dick Grayson more than I like him, and that's mainly, and that's more basically because of the fact that Dick Grayson has been so well developed. It bothers me how the company he is with treats him. Like this new stupidness with him now. I hate it. I want it gone. I want this Rick Grayson bullshit done. Like once he got shot in the head by KG Beast, they just and it's not just Dick. It's Tim too. Tim, yo, stop. Tim Drake gets shafted, and this nonsense too. Like, it just, why change him? There was no need to change his name. And it is what it is. So yeah, but if you're going, what other characters? Mr. Terrific. I love Michael Holt. He's third smartest man in the DC universe. Love him. I'm a big Black Lightning fan, even before his TV show. I was always shouting out Black Lightning before his TV show. Fuck IGN. Sorry, with that shit. Well, Black Canary. I'm a big Black Canary. I'm a big Wonder Woman fan. I like the Green Lantern. It depends on the Green. I like Hal, but the reason why Hal is low in terms of ranking is because he's always the one that get depicted more. And even to some degree, Jon Stewart is overexposed now. And I don't want to say I blame Dwayne McDuffie, but I understand why they used him. But he now has gotten overexposed because now that's what everybody wants now. They want John, but Kyle Rayner is my guy. Yeah, Kyle Rayner is my dude. He gets the most shafted at times. I'm not a big Guy Gardner fan. I never have been. I've never really been a big Guy Gardner fan. The new Green Lanterns that we have now, like Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, I like them. They're really becoming pretty cool to me. I'm a big Flash fan. I've always been a big Flash fan. You know, I like speedsters in general. Like, I've always loved speedsters. I've always felt that I like Quicksilver when he's not being a dick, when he's not being an ass. But speedsters have always been a good essential to a team, and Flash has always been a good essential to, you know, I like a lot of underrated DC characters that probably a lot of people don't know about or maybe never even heard of, you know, besides just the overexposed ones like your Aquamans and your Martian Manhunter. And I love Jean, don't get me wrong. He doesn't get enough credit for how powerful he is, you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I have a few. Your next question, Nightwing, was have you been enjoying this season of Flash? I'm a little behind on this season of Flash. This whole concept with Iris trapped in this mirror world and her mirror image is out there. It's okay, but I found it funny that there was an article that said finally the Flash show is letting Iris be black. I'm like, I could not stop laughing at that. You know, yeah, you can take that many ways. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, it was just kind of weird. Like, cause it's funny, but it's also like, what does that mean? Finally, she's acting black. Okay. But I am a little behind on. Yeah, like, you know, it is what it is. But I do like the Flash show. It's a hit and miss sometimes, you know. My biggest problems with the show at times is the whole villain of the week, and sometimes they have clear-cut good villains who have been clear-cut good villains in the comics as the villain of the week. For example, the Shade. I was like, you crazy? Like, he's just a villain of the week? Or when they finally brought in Mirror Master, I was like, oh my God, they ruined him. Right.
We've seen it plenty of times in animated shorts where, okay, this is going to come on the scene, it's a two-part, but there still is an overarching story. So, yeah, I mean, with Flash, there's been too many things where it's like, and by the time they bring them back, sometimes it might be like, at the next season, like, man, you can't find something to do with them for, you know, maybe like 2 episodes down the road or something. Like, oh, hey, look, what they got to do with Rob?
Yeah, well, no, Grodd's had a big arc. Grodd's has an overall. He's been in several episodes already. But yeah, I mean, they have built up some of those classic Flash villains, and some of them they turned. That's the other thing I kind of don't like as well. Is like a lot of, especially the rogues. Flash's rogues have turned over a new leaf. They've been reformed, like Heatwave and Captain Cold. Well, Wentworth Miller left. He hasn't come back since. But, you know, yes, Captain Cold has a code. Like, he doesn't kill women and children and people like that. But he's still kind of like villain at times. He has moral. He's a moral villain. Like, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like. Your question has been. Your question was, and I'm sorry because I kind of do that, guys. I go into things, but your question was, have I caught up? Am I still watching? I'm still watching Flash. I just haven't watched the latest episodes. The mirror stuff is kind of like, okay, now, all right, like, get her out of there now, get it out, because if I'm not mistaken, everybody kind of suspects now that the Iris is not Iris anymore, so it is anymore. Killer Frost had a big arc. Her arc, yeah. Caitlyn had a big arc. Like, they went from like she fought it, and then we didn't know if she was a metahuman, then she is, and then we started realizing that it was more like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, where Killer Frost was another person, and then of course she came to start caring for Caitlyn, and and then of course now she dropped the killer. It's just Frost now. Right. She dropped that killer stuff, but probably in terms of Killer Frost, my favorite scene of her will always be, and I watch it non-stop. There are times I watch it. There's a scene where she's Killer Frost, and Flash needs Caitlyn's help because what's going on with Wally, and she's like, and Barry's like, okay, and I'll let you free, and he lets her out of her capsule, and he says the only way you're gonna be able to get out of here is if you kill me. And so Kate, she makes like an ice dagger, and he's like, come on, like, kill me, kill me. He's like, you live up to your name, Killer Frost. Live up to your name, Killer Frost. I want to see some killing, like, because I haven't seen anything. He actually grabs her hand and like, come on, stab me. And you see her fighting it, and then Caitlyn comes out and she just hugs him. I love that scene because it's like you see the friendship, how much Barry's friendship with Caitlyn is. Like, he's not gonna let her. He won't lose her to. Yeah, it's like he kind of was like, yeah. But I love that line where he says, "Come on, kill me. Come on, Killer Frost. Live up to your name. Live it up. Come on." Like, and he didn't. But the one thing I want from a CW, when everything supposedly gets back to normalcy, I want Flash to cross over Black Lightning, because they had their friend. You saw a friendship gain during the last crossover. They really got to know each other pretty well, and there's a scene where Barry is consulting Jefferson when he realizes that he lost his Earth and he lost the kids and his wife, well, ex-wife, because Lynn and him are not remarried, but yeah. And then you just see them talk about their dads and how their dads molded them and who they are. It was good. So yeah, it was a good bonding moment. You saw them, So thank you, Nightwing, for those questions. We have how many more questions? I'm trying to finish before my battery and my camera runs out. We got 5 more questions. No, 6 more. Next comes from BigG. Yo, y'all killing me with these names. I'm a new subscriber. Oh, thank you. New subscriber. Like the channel so far. Thank you. I appreciate that. My question is, what do you think will happen in the next Spider-Man movie? Well, the next Spider-Man movie, definitely he's going to be either on the run for a while because his identity was publicized by Mysterio. First of all, I want to say once again, Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job as Quentin Beck. And I'm a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan, so he did a great job. So my belief is he's going to be on the run. There's all this rumors that Daredevil is going to be in it. Please let that be true. Please let that be true. And now I hear another rumor saying it's not just going to be Daredevil, it's also going to be Jessica Jones, because she's going to be the PI, trying to solve the case. But that also kind of takes away from the main character, who is Spider-Man. Like, he's still got to do his job. Like, he's still got to be Spider-Man somewhere. So, I think he's going to be on a run. I wouldn't mind. I think the villain is definitely going to be Kraven. It would make perfect sense. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Indeed. Who do you want in this second Spider-Man game? Any character that was not in the first one or got mentioned in the first one. So Sandman would be. I would love to see how they would do a Sandman fight on that new engine. I think it's gonna be for the PS5. So definitely Venom. We're definitely getting Venom in that next one. Who else we missed? We didn't see the Lizard. We didn't see Mysterio. We didn't see. No, we saw Electro. No, Shocker was in it. Spider-Man had just so many characters that's why he's one of my favorites. Like, his rogues gallery is so deep. Like, but definitely Venom. We're definitely going to see Venom. Sandman would be good. Lizard would be cool. Maybe some old school villains like from the early days. It was shocking they had Tombstone in there. I was like, whoa, that's Tombstone. They altered him a little bit, but he was still cool. Looked a lot like Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace, I'm not gonna lie. And I was shocked that they had Taskmaster in that. Like, I was like, Taskmaster, whoa, what was, he's watching you perform all these things, and then when you fight him, he fights just like you. I'm like, that's Taskmaster. That's exactly how he's supposed to be. So thank you for those questions, Big J. You're killing me with these names. Caroline is the last question. If you were in the Avatar universe, what type of bender would you be? Water, for sure. Water, or Earth. Kind of go with those. What hybrid animal companion would you have? A hybrid animal. I just want a wolf. I'd want a wolf. I want a wolf. I'm not even joking about that. I love wolves. So yeah. What ethnicity do you see the four nations as? You talking about an avatar? Simple. The water tribe is Inuit. The air temple is Shaolin. The Shaolin temple. That's pretty much what they are. The fire nation is definitely. I want to say a hybrid of Japan and China. And as for the Earth, I kind of look at them as more of Mongolian, like Mongolian influence. They all are Asian or native. The water tribe being Inuit, native Alaskans or something. So, yeah, that's what I look at. So honestly, when they do another, just be truthful for their ethnicity. And it's not just that for me, it's just like, look, you got kids and stuff out here who are of those nationalities, and it's really, look, I can't express the most of how that makes people feel to see someone who looks like them played as a hero. My dad always said, growing up as a kid, reading comics like me, how that made him feel to see characters like Black Panther and Luke Cage, guys that look like him. That made such a wonder for him, like, to see that. Sure, he had other favorite heroes like Thor and people like that. Yeah, my dad's a huge Thor fan. But, Luke Cage and seeing T'Challa, that was good stuff for him as a kid, What free liberties are they taking with the live action Netflix series? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm sure this Netflix series, they looked at everything M. Night Shyamalan did and said, we are doing everything differently. I've seen fan-made movies on YouTube that were far better than anything M. Night did in that movie. I just recently watched one where it was just a fight between Zuko Azula, and Katara. And then at the end you saw Korra, older Katara talking to Korra about it. And I'm like, this was beautiful. So yeah, like, it is what it is. Like, I can't tell you how much I am bothered by the whitewashing of characters of color or ethnicity, like a different ethnicity. You know, it is what it is. I can go into a whole thing about that, but I'm not. I'll do it another time. But other than that, guys, thank you for the questions. We'll do this again. As always, I'll do it as much as I can. I'm always going to break it up live and it's pre-recorded, so things like that. Once again, guys, take care. Stay safe. Stay positive. As always, my pack. Your alpha bids you adieu. And like I said, tonight, fellow gamers, I will be streaming 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be streaming gameplay of Streets of Rage 4. So come through the gaming channel and you can see me play this game. Because all I've been hearing is nothing but great things about it. And I wasn't able to touch it because I was working. So I'll be free tonight to check it out. Alright? You guys take care. Deuces!